What if I told you that tomorrow evening could be one of the coldest nights England has seen this winter? And that is not even the worst part. Right now, as you are listening to this, a weather system is moving across the Atlantic that will hit England tomorrow evening, the 25th of January 2026. But here is what the Met Office is not telling you in their standard forecast. The real feels like temperature, when you factor in humidity and wind chill, will drop to near freezing across every major city. That is right, every single one. In the next few minutes, I am going to reveal which English city will feel the coldest tomorrow evening, which areas are at highest risk for black ice on the roads, and exactly what time you need to get indoors to avoid the worst of it. But first, let me show you something that will shock you. 70% humidity. That is what London will experience tomorrow evening. Now, you might think, so what? Here is why that matters. At 6 to 7 degrees Celsius, which is 43 degrees Fahrenheit, your body does not just feel cold. With 70% humidity, the moisture in the air actually conducts heat away from your skin 25 times faster than dry air. That means when you step outside tomorrow evening in London, it will feel like you are standing in a refrigerator. And London is not even the worst affected city. But before I reveal which city faces the harshest conditions, let me give you something valuable right now at just 30 seconds in. If you live in any English city and you plan to drive tomorrow evening, write this down. 4:37 post meridiem, that is when the sun sets in London, 4:30. In Newcastle, it is even earlier. The moment that sun drops below the horizon, road temperatures will plummet by 3 to 4 degrees in just 20 minutes. That is when black ice forms. Most accidents happen between 4:45 and 6:30 post meridiem. Remember that. Now, where were we? Oh, yes. The city that will feel the absolute coldest, Manchester. The northern powerhouse is about to live up to its northern reputation in the worst way possible. Tomorrow evening, air temperature hits 6 degrees Celsius during the day, dropping to 2 degrees overnight. But here is the kicker. Manchester has already recorded 21 rainy days this January alone. 21 out of 24 days. The ground is saturated, the air is saturated, everything is wet. When you combine 2 degrees Celsius overnight temperature with 90% humidity and constant moisture, you are not just cold. You are bone deep, penetrating, cannot get warm even indoors kind of cold. The type that makes your joints ache. The type that elderly relatives complain about for days. Are you starting to see why tomorrow evening is not just another winter night? But wait, there is something even more concerning. And I promise you, when I reveal this at the 5-minute mark, you will understand why thousands of people across England need to change their plans for tomorrow evening. Let me paint you a picture. It is 4:30 tomorrow afternoon. The sun has just set. You are in Birmingham, the heart of England. Temperature reads 6 degrees on your car dashboard. Not too bad, you think. You have been out in colder, then you step outside. Instantly, the wind hits you. 8.9 miles per hour does not sound like much, does it? But that wind is coming from the northeast. It has traveled across the entire North Sea, picking up moisture, picking up that cutting, penetrating cold that only sea air can carry. By the time it reaches Birmingham, that 6-degree temperature feels like 1 degree, maybe less. Your eyes start watering, your fingers go numb in your pockets. Within 90 seconds of exposure, you are reconsidering every decision that brought you outside. Now multiply that experience across every major city in England. Simultaneously, Liverpool, the maritime city on the western coast, will register 7 degrees tomorrow evening. Sounds warmer than Birmingham, does it not? Here is the twist. Liverpool is coastal. The average wind speed across England in January is 19 kilometers per hour. That is 12 miles per hour. But coastal areas, they get gusts up to 25 miles per hour. That 7-degree temperature becomes a feels like temperature of 0 degrees Celsius, 32 degrees Fahrenheit, freezing point. And you know what happens at freezing point when humidity is at 80 to 90%? Every surface becomes a slip hazard. Every railing, every car door handle, every pavement slab develops a microscopic layer of ice. Not enough to see, just enough to send you tumbling. Do you know anyone over 60? A parent, a grandparent, a neighbor? Keep listening, because at the 3-minute 20 mark, I am going to give you the single most important safety tip that could prevent a serious fall tomorrow evening. Leeds, northern city, proud city, cold city. Tomorrow evening, 6 degrees during the day, 2 degrees overnight. But here is what makes Leeds different. Snow. The forecast shows 2 to 4 snowy days possible in January, with total snowfall reaching 1.28 centimeters. Now, 1.28 centimeters does not sound like much, just over half an inch. But you know when that snow falls? Late evening, between 8 post meridium and midnight, right when temperatures hit their lowest point, right when that snow can freeze on contact with the ground. Picture this. You are driving home from the pub at 9 post meridium. Roads look clear. Temperature has dropped to 1 degree. Then you hit a patch where light snow fell 30 minutes ago and instantly froze. Your car does not just slip, it glides. Steering wheel might as well be disconnected. This is not speculation. This happens every January in Leeds, every single year. And tomorrow evening has all the perfect conditions for it to happen again. Are you starting to understand the severity of what is coming? York, the historic city, medieval streets, those beautiful narrow cobblestone lanes that tourists love. Tomorrow evening, they become wind tunnels. 6 degrees during the day, 2 degrees overnight. But those ancient streets were not designed for modern comfort. They were designed for defense, for compression, for channeling. When that northeast wind blows through York tomorrow evening, it accelerates. Physics demands it. Narrow passages make wind speed increase by 30 to 40%. So that 8.9 miles per hour becomes 12, 13 miles per hour. Feels like temperature in York City Centre could drop to -2 degrees Celsius, that is 28 degrees Fahrenheit. And here is something they do not mention in standard forecasts. Fog. York is prone to fog in late January, especially during early morning and evening. Fog plus near freezing temperatures plus high humidity equals what meteorologists call freezing fog. Visibility drops to less than 100 meters. Everything you touch is covered in frost. If you are planning to drive in York tomorrow evening, maybe reconsider. Now, I promised you that crucial safety tip at 3 minutes 20. Here it is. If you or anyone you know is over 60 and plans to be outside tomorrow evening, listen very carefully. The human body loses heat 25 times faster through the head than through any other body part. At 70 to 90% humidity, that heat loss accelerates even more. Hypothermia does not just happen in extreme cold. It happens when your core body temperature drops just 2 degrees. In conditions like tomorrow evening, that can happen in 15 to 20 minutes of exposure for elderly individuals. Woolly hat, scarf, gloves, not optional, essential, life-saving potentially. And if you have elderly neighbors who live alone, maybe check on them tomorrow evening. Make sure their heating is working. Make sure they are not planning to walk to the shops at 5 post meridium when it is pitch black and near freezing. One small action could prevent a tragedy. Bristol, the western city, southwest England. You would think being further south means warmer weather, would you not? Generally, yes. Tomorrow evening, 7 degrees during the day, 2 degrees overnight. Slightly milder than northern cities, but here is Bristol's problem. Rain. Considerable rainfall in January. Dense cloud cover. Scarce sunshine. Bristol residents see about 2 hours of sunshine per day in January. 2 hours. That represents just 19% of total daylight hours. Why does that matter for tomorrow evening? Because when the sun barely shines during the day, the ground never warms up properly. Even at 7 degrees air temperature, ground temperature might only be 4 degrees. By evening, that ground temperature drops to 1 degree, maybe 0. Every puddle from the previous 20 rainy days becomes a potential ice patch. Every drain, every gutter, every slight depression in the pavement holds water that will freeze overnight. Bristol might seem milder on paper. In reality, it is just as treacherous. Newcastle upon Tyne, the northern city, near the Scottish border. If you thought everywhere else sounded cold, Newcastle is about to redefine your understanding of English winter. 6 degrees during the day, potentially 2 degrees or lower overnight. But that is not the real story. The real story is the North Sea wind. Cold air from Scandinavia crosses the North Sea, picks up moisture, and slams directly into England's northeast coast. Newcastle takes the full brunt. That 6-degree temperature becomes a feels-like temperature of -1, -2 degrees Celsius. That is 30 degrees, 28 degrees Fahrenheit. Below freezing, accounting for wind chill, Newcastle has the highest likelihood of snow in January among all English cities. Not just a dusting, actual accumulation. Roads become impassable, public transport delays, shops close early, and Newcastle residents, they are tough. They are used to it. They prepare thoroughly. But even they limit outdoor activities in the evening when weather like tomorrow hits. If hardened Geordies are staying indoors, maybe that tells you something. Southampton, the southern port, final city on our journey across England. Being coastal and southern, Southampton enjoys the most temperate climate of all the cities we have discussed. 7 degrees during the day, 3 degrees overnight. Warmest nighttime temperature we have seen. But do not let that fool you. High humidity from the sea makes the air feel colder than the actual temperature. Sea breezes in winter are strong, harsh, relentless. That 7-degree temperature feels like 3 degrees. That 3-degree overnight temperature feels like 0. And here is something unique to coastal cities. Salt air. The same salt that preserves fish and corrodes metal also makes cold air feel more penetrating. It gets into your lungs, your throat, your sinuses. You feel cold from the inside out. Southampton might have the warmest numbers. It does not have the warmest experience. Now, let me bring this all together for you, because we are approaching that 5-minute mark I promised you, the moment where everything clicks into place. Tomorrow evening, the 25th of January 2026, is not just another cold winter night in England. It is a convergence, a perfect storm of factors that individually would be manageable, but together create genuinely hazardous conditions. Air temperatures between 6 and 7 degrees Celsius across all major cities. Humidity levels between 70 and 90%. Wind speeds averaging 19 kilometers per hour, that is 12 miles per hour, with coastal gusts up to 25 miles per hour. Sunset at approximately 4:30 post-meridian. 21 rainy days already this month, meaning saturated ground everywhere. Potential for light snow in northern areas. Ground temperatures dropping 3 to 4 degrees within 20 minutes of sunset. Every single one of these factors compounds the others. Cold air plus high humidity equals faster heat loss from your body. Wet ground plus dropping temperatures equals ice formation. Early sunset plus fog in some areas equals dangerous driving conditions. Wind plus moisture equals penetrating cold that no amount of layering seems to stop. This is what meteorologists call a high-impact weather event. Not because any single element is extreme, but because the combination creates conditions that affect everyone, everywhere, all at once. 68.2 millimeters of total precipitation this January, 21 rainy days, only 2 hours of sunshine per day, 19% of daylight hours. England is not just experiencing winter. England is drowning in winter, and tomorrow evening is the peak. But here is what you need to know right now. Here is your action plan. If you must be outside tomorrow evening, dress in layers. Not just one thick coat. Multiple thin layers trap air between them, creating insulation. Base layer, mid layer, outer waterproof layer. Minimum, heavy waterproof coat, not water resistant. Waterproof. There is a difference. Water resistant means light rain for short periods. Waterproof means proper protection. Scarves, gloves, woolly hats, non-negotiable. Your extremities lose heat fastest. Protect them first. Sturdy umbrella, not a cheap collapsible one. 12-mile-per-hour winds will destroy it in seconds. A proper reinforced umbrella. Waterproof boots. Leather boots, fashion boots, trainers, they will all be soaked and cold within minutes. Waterproof boots keep your feet dry, which keeps them warm, which keeps your entire body warmer. If possible, stay indoors during the evening. I know that sounds defeatist. I know we are British and we do not let a bit of weather stop us. But tomorrow evening is not a bit of weather, it is a lot of weather. All at once, particularly for children and the elderly, minimize outdoor exposure. Their bodies regulate temperature less efficiently. What is uncomfortable for you could be dangerous for them. If you must drive, give yourself double your normal travel time. Leave bigger gaps between vehicles. Brake earlier and gentler. Assume every surface could be slippery. Because it could be, keep an emergency kit in your car. Blanket, flashlight, water, snacks, phone charger. If you get stuck, you need to be able to wait safely for help. Check on vulnerable neighbors. Literally knock on their door. Make sure they are okay. Make sure they have heating. Make sure they are not planning anything risky for tomorrow evening. Now, here is something fascinating. Despite all of this, despite the cold, despite the wet, despite the dark, there is something undeniably beautiful about an English winter evening. Misty landscapes where everything becomes soft and dreamlike. Street lamps creating golden pools of light in the darkness. The warm glow from pub windows. The sound of rain on windows when you are safe inside. The smell of coal fires and wood smoke. The taste of hot tea or mulled wine. The feeling of finally getting warm after being outside in the cold. This is the distinctive culture of the English winter. Harsh, yes. Challenging, absolutely. But also cozy, also intimate, also beautiful in its own way. Cafes and traditional pubs become refuges, not just buildings, but sanctuaries. Places where warmth and light and human company push back against the cold and dark outside. There is a reason British people are obsessed with tea, a reason we love our pubs, a reason we invented the concept of the cozy night in. We have been dealing with evenings like tomorrow for thousands of years. We have learned how to not just survive them, but actually enjoy them. The key is preparation. Respect the weather. Take it seriously. But do not fear it. Tomorrow evening will be cold. It will be wet. It will be dark. But it will also pass. By Monday morning, conditions will already be improving. Temperatures will rise slightly. Rain will ease. The worst will be over. and you will have made it through another English winter evening, just like your parents did, just like their parents did, just like generations before them. We are designed for this. Our architecture is designed for this. Our culture is designed for this. So yes, tomorrow evening will be challenging, but you are English. Challenging weather is practically your birthright. Just make sure you are prepared, make sure you are safe, make sure you are smart about it. And if you can, stay inside where it is warm, pour yourself a cup of tea, watch something comforting on telly, listen to the wind outside, and be grateful you are not in it. That is the real British way of handling winter. Not stoic endurance in the face of the elements, but intelligent avoidance of unnecessary suffering, combined with the ability to find comfort and joy despite the misery outside. Tomorrow evening, across London, Manchester, Birmingham, Liverpool, Leeds, Bristol, York, Oxford, Newcastle, and Southampton, millions of people will be doing exactly that. Staying warm, staying safe, staying inside. The weather will do what it does. Rain will fall, wind will blow, temperatures will drop, ice will form, but you will be ready for it. Because now you know the real temperatures, you know the real conditions, you know the real risks, and you know how to protect yourself and the people you care about. That is the value I promised you. That is what the next few minutes were about. Real information, practical advice, honest assessment of what is coming, not fear-mongering, not exaggeration, just facts, context, and guidance. So let me ask you this. Where in England do you live? Are you in one of the cities I mentioned? Are you somewhere I did not cover? What are your local conditions like? Leave a comment below telling me where you are. I will provide specific forecast details for your area. Personalized advice based on your exact location, because every town, every village, every neighborhood has its own microclimate, its own quirks, its own particular challenges. Your high street might flood in heavy rain. Your estate might be exposed to prevailing winds. Your road might not get gritted. Your area might lose power in storms. These are things the general forecast cannot tell you, but I can if you tell me where you are. So comment now, tell me your location, and I will give you the information you need to stay safe tomorrow evening. And here is what is coming next, because tomorrow evening is just the beginning. This cold snap is expected to last through the weekend. By next Tuesday, we could see temperatures drop even further. Some models are predicting minus conditions overnight in northern areas. Actual frost, actual ice, actual snow accumulation. Next video, I am going to break down the 7-day forecast, day by day, hour by hour. What to expect, when to expect it, how to prepare for it. Because this is not just about tomorrow evening anymore. This is about the next week of your life. And you need to be ready, but that is for next time. For now, focus on tomorrow. Get through tomorrow evening safely. Then we will worry about what comes next. Remember, layers, waterproof gear, minimize outdoor time, check on vulnerable people, drive carefully if you must drive, stay warm, stay safe. Tomorrow evening, the 25th of January 2026, will be cold and wet and dark and challenging, but you are going to be absolutely fine because you are prepared, because you know what is coming, because you are taking this seriously. And honestly, that is all it takes. Preparation, awareness, common sense. The weather will be the weather. You cannot change that, but you can change how you respond to it. And that makes all the difference. Stay warm, England. Stay safe. And I will see you in the next forecast. But before you go, seriously, comment your location. Let me help you prepare specifically for where you are. That is what I am here for. That is what this is about. Personalized, accurate, honest weather information. No fluff, no filler. Just what you need to know when you need to know it. Your location in the comments, now. And I will respond with your specific forecast. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And remember, the British have survived far worse winters